And we're delighted to have this exhibit on Nina Allender, political cartoonist. One of the reasons is because the collection is from the Sewell Belmont House in D.C. It's the last headquarters of the National Women's Party.
Suffrage changes women. It unsexes them. It makes them mannish, right? So in this case, this is a woman with a male face, right? And in a very unladylike position, arguing that women should have suffrage. So this is a very typical view you would see, again, in a cartoon about suffrage, produced by men, basically saying suffragists are men in drag. This is also taken from action that the National Women's Party did when they began to picket the White House in 1917 as a strategy to bring attention again to the inequity between Wilson's words and ideology about suffrage, about democracy, versus what they wanted to attain. So what the silent sentinels were at the White House is groups of women who would show up with these large banners, often with language directly from his speeches, to say, you talk about democracy, and yet women don't have the right to vote. And again, linking his speech to their fight. But what's interesting about this is the heading is insulting to the president, question mark. And this goes back to a conflict within the women's movement between the National Women's Party, who's had no problem using very radical means to get their point across. In fact, they're the first group in history to pick at the White House, to actually say, we need to do this, and in a sense, show the inequity and put the hypocrisy of Wilson's agenda in his face, really, by standing outside his house. Whereas the NASA group found this extremely insulting and said, this is discourteous to the president, we're not going to gain any political points, you need to stop this. And this cartoon is kind of saying to NASA, is this really insulting? Isn't this an effective political strategy? Wednesday Women's Party Convention in Chicago. And again, you see this really embodiment of the modern woman. The modern dress, fashionable dress, she's worldly, she's enthusiastic, she's youthful. Again, she's not angry, she's not scolding, she's not ugly, she's not unattractive. So really changing the whole visual image of what a suffragist is. Comment about Allender's work saying, she gave to the American public in cartoons a new type of suffragist, a young, zealous woman of a new generation, determined to wait no longer for a just right. It was Mrs. Allender's cartoons more than any other one thing that began to change the cartoonist's idea of a suffragist.
Very interesting. Very interesting. Oh, I enjoyed it. I really did.